Why pharmaceutical ED drugs and even natural ED supplements never actually cure ED. Let's be very clear. Pharmaceutical ED drugs and even natural ED drugs that mimic the same approach as pharmaceuticals do not cure, resolve, or get at the root cause of ED from nitric oxide vascular dysfunction. Additionally, porn-induced erectile dysfunction and energetic erectile dysfunction are neurological and energetic forms of ED, the fastest growing segment of ED and the predominant forms of ED today. In those cases, cardiovascular ED drugs are being misdiagnosed and misprescribed to millions of men. This is very dangerous since these drugs can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure, resulting in fatigue, illness, and death. This is the very definition of malpractice. Yet we let these massive corporate conglomerates of Western medicine, pharmaceutical, and insurance industries get away with it because we choose to give our power over to them. Taking a pill can never replace true healing and only makes you dependent on those drugs for a lifetime. True healing can only take place with lifestyle behavioral changes and natural healing modalities. The reason pharmaceutical drugs have diminishing and failing results is because they only provide temporary boosts from an outside source. These drugs cover up the true source of blood flow restrictive ED, completely ignoring the root cause. Because there is no actual curative healing taking place, the underlying source of the symptoms continues to worsen. I asked the question, how can we heal our endothelial system inside our blood vessels and empower our body to produce nitric oxide intelligently from within, whenever and wherever we need it? This frees us so that we are no longer dependent on such a highly mechanical and awkward process of reaching for a pill or an injection every time we want to get an erection. This is so essential to understand. There is an enormous difference between artificially and perpetually boosting nitric oxide temporarily beyond what our body is capable of producing within, versus empowering our own body to permanently produce nitric oxide. That is where our natural solution to blood flow restrictive ED lies. My approach is two-pronged. This is simple, easy, and clear. First, we identify the true source of nitric oxide dysfunction. Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry absolutely do not want you to know this because they want you to be dependent on their cholesterol-blocking drugs and bypass surgeries. Free radicals are the source of blood flow restrictive ED as well as arteriosclerosis. Blood flow restrictive ED and arteriosclerosis are the same symptoms. You cannot separate sexual health from physical health. Free radicals come from four major sources. Number one, heavy metals are a major source of arteriosclerosis. The latest science shows that arteriosclerosis is no longer seen as simply a fat-blocking disease. It is also primarily an inflammatory disease from heavy metals. Number two, an animal-based diet is high in free radicals, saturated fats, and carcinogens. Number three, environmental pollutants, which include microplastics, pesticides, and chemicals. These are also hormonal disruptors. Number four, smoking. That's it. Those are the sources of free radicals. Free radicals ravage our endothelial layer, which is responsible for producing healthy levels of nitric oxide for increased blood flow. Our liver sends out increasing levels of LDL cholesterol to the site of free radical damage in order to deactivate the threat. Our cholesterol is rich in antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, and anti-cancer properties. LDL cholesterol is not bad. It is actually the ambulance driver. It is our body's only mode of protection from the harmful threat of free radical damage. The statin industry is the richest on earth. Statin cholesterol-lowering drugs are the highest grossing products in world history. The latest science is showing increased deaths in elderly taking statins due to heart attacks and cancers, because statins are taking away our body's only mode of protection from free radicals. Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry blame the ambulance driver while ignoring the root cause, the true source of arteriosclerosis. Arteriosclerosis is a symptom, not the problem. Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry also do not want you to know that we can eliminate arteriosclerosis through IV therapy, combined with some simple and easy behavioral lifestyle changes. Arteriosclerosis is a combination of heavy metal, plaque, and calcification buildup. Chelation IV therapy using calcium EDTA or disodium EDTA chelates out the heavy metal and calcification components that make up arteriosclerosis. Plaquex IV therapy, which is soy-derived phosphatidylcholine, backs out the plaque component of arteriosclerosis. The trial to assess chelation therapy, or TACT-1 study, is a major government study which looked at the benefits of chelation therapy. The results were astounding, showing a 51% reduction in cardiac events and a 43% reduction in mortality with diabetic patients after just one full course of NAEDTA. Another comprehensive study looked at 22,765 patients. After just one full course of disodium EDTA, there was an 87% marked improvement in vascular disease. The scientists estimated that nearly all of the 407,000 bypass surgeries performed that year could have been entirely avoided if they had all received one course of disodium EDTA and would have saved $8 billion that year. Another effective solution is extracorporeal pulse activation technology, or EPAT, which uses sound waves to break up plaque buildup in the lingam and surrounding blood vessels. Donating blood even once per year reduces the chance of heart attack by 88%. Regularly donating blood reduces iron stores and oxidants from our blood, which are linked with cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases, as well as cancers. Regularly donating blood also increases antioxidant capacity. Antioxidants deactivate free radicals. I recommend everyone donate blood as soon as they reschedule you. Why is this not being recommended by Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry for cardiovascular disease? Because they profit off of our disease, dysfunction, addiction, and imbalance. It is not a healthcare system. Rather, it is a sick care system run by insurance industries who only provide two modes of recourse: pharmaceutical drugs and surgeries. True solutions undermine their true motives, which is making money off of our illnesses and deaths. Once we remove arteriosclerosis, we need to stop creating it in the first place. Otherwise, we are just recreating the arteriosclerosis that we just removed. We do this by eliminating the source of free radicals from our lives, which is heavy metal exposure, an animal-based diet, environmental pollutants, and smoking. Essentially, watch what goes into our mouths in the form of what we eat, drink, and breathe, since this is where free radicals enter our body. We need to make lifestyle behavioral changes in the form of what we eat, how often we eat, and how much we eat. Switch from an animal-based diet to an intelligent plant-based diet. An animal-based diet decreases erectile function within hours, and in the long term, creates erectile dysfunction and arteriosclerosis. A plant-based diet is high in antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties, which protect us from free radicals. The science is clear that a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet. The fastest, strongest, greatest athletes and champions are now utilizing a plant-based diet, which is being used to break new records. See my video on the sex diet. I also recommend intermittent fasting as a valuable tool to burn surface and visceral fat, reverse biological aging, and protect against cardiovascular and neurodegenerative diseases, as well as cancers. There truly is no place for erectile dysfunction today, nor is there any place for arteriosclerosis and deaths from cardiovascular events today. It is the power we continue to invest in Western medicine and the pharmaceutical industry that perpetuates disease, comorbidities, and deaths at appalling rates, all to enrich a few at the expense of the immense suffering of the majority. Tell everyone you know about my audiobook, which is free, called You Are Not Broken by Brooke Hazen, which can be found on my YouTube channel by the same name, as well as my website, brookehazen.com. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next video.